Fourth of April.
You're on.
Okay. It's 12:13. We're running behind. We're gonna also wait on the sheriff, so we want to call the meeting to order of the Kansas County Law Enforcement meeting with the NAACP. And I'd like to start to my left with Mr. Bleach. We got Mr. Bleach from the Daily Journal. Yeah. He's sitting there. The chief, sheriff is running behind. He's in the building. You got it, Mr. Breach.
Chris Breach with the Daily Journal.
Myron Riley, Kankakee County Response Team.
Then we'll come back to our county corner.
Bob Gessner, County Coroner.
Reggie Bell, I'm with Garden Prairie Youth Center, response team.
Chris Kidwell, Chief of Police, Kankakee City.
Donnell Austin, Deputy Chief of Police, Kankakee City.
El Swinford, Manteno Police Department.
Jackie Haas, State Rep.
Yes, Bailiff, Kankakee Courthouse.
Claudia No, community member, and NAACP community member.
Chris Curtis, Mayor, Kankakee.
Natalie Ojeda, Senator Joyce's office and Hispanic Partnership.
Steve Hunter, County Board Vice Chair, NAACP, Hispanic Partnership.
Paulette Craig, Secretary for the NAACP. Jeanette Jones, Health Chair for NAACP.
Leota Space, President of Kansas County ACP.
Chad Gessner, Under Sheriff, Kankakee County Sheriff's Office.
Lieutenant Mason is not here with our previous minutes. We're down to actually item 4, and I know Myron and Doug, myself, Kathy, Melsa, and others attended our last Kankakee crisis response team, and I know that Donna Sample is in concert conversation with Andy Baston is setting up another training, which will also be inclusive Professor Stroud from ONU. So that's where we are now. The next item would be the discussion on where we are with the updates. So with the, you think the sheriff's going to make it to give an update? He and I talked yesterday. So, Coroner Gessner, you want to just give us where we are with some of the issues, fentanyl update?
Sure. Our statistics right now are from December 1st of 23 to actually February 27th. We have a total of 5 overdoses so far. 2 are pending right now, are definitely going to be involved in the 5. Our average age is, believe it or not, is at 48, jumped from 44 to 48. Our biggest problem that we're having out of the 5 right now overdoses, they're all involving fentanyl, which is 80 to 100% more powerful than morphine itself. We've added a couple new ones on here that our last 2 cases have had what they call a parafluorofentanyl is called, and then also, excuse me, xylazine. These are all mixed together. The fentanyl, the parafluorofentanyl, and the xylazine was all in one person, which would be very extremely difficult for somebody to pull this guy out with Narcan because Narcan does not work in xylazine at all. The fentanyl is very difficult. It's, again, last year on 23, it was 84% of the fentanyl or in overdoses out of our 36 that we had. So it's still a major problem with fentanyl. We're all over all over the county teaching. I've been to about 5 to 6 churches now already, and been able to talk in front of them, which was, the last one was Jimmy Smith's place over there by the homestead. I think he had almost 250-some people there, so
Oh, really?
it was really packed the house in the Civic Auditorium. So was able to talk there, and I got a couple of Narcan programs that I'm going to do to some of the churches. So, and you can get the Narcan at the health department, also in my office. If you ever, there's no charge to it at all. And most of the gas stations and different food stores have the Narcan on display. So the health department's doing a good job on that.
So, Coroner, as they distribute that, is that free, or individuals have to pay for those, or no?
No, even if we just put like a newspaper stand up there, you just pull it open and the Narcan, and that's at the Salvation Army and off of Court Street there. We
So
put
that
two
would
of them.
be something that Run the Showers or Donna Sample need to talk about with the next response team meeting. And while I'm thinking about it, those individuals who are present of the response team, if you have not gotten your vest, you need to get in touch with Donna to get your vest, and then we can also include that with Norcan, with the vest, and when we are called out. So, Mr. Hunter?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Coroner Gessner, you were mentioning that Narcan only works on certain drugs. Do you know if there's anything in the hopper that will address the other drugs that you reference as well too? In other words, if I was taking that fentanyl stuff, you could bring me back with Narcan, but the other ones, there's nothing in the hopper now, or do you know if there's anything in the hopper on the future in terms of utilizing that stuff that will bring them back from an overdose?
That's a good question. I've talked to the Illinois Department of Public Health on that. They are working on that to get something to, but it's mostly veterinarian drugs. For instance, carfentanil was a elephant tranquilizer, basically, 10,000 more powerful than morphine itself. We've had 3 cases in the city on that, but we haven't had it in a while. And then xylazine is not fit for a human at all. It's not, Narcan is not going to save you on that, but that's something that they're working on. I talked to them about it, and hopefully somewhere along the line we get something for that.
Thank you.
I was looking up, no, I found it. So, Chief Swinford, you want to just give an update? We'll wait on the sheriff, update of what's going on in the village of Mantino regarding your body cams and hiring.
Both, we're hiring 2 right now, maybe 3 shortly. So we're definitely working down our list. We'll probably be through with our list and having to retest in short order. Body cameras, I think, right, I know about every department's up to speed on body cameras. I think they're fully implemented. Countywide, maybe Grant Park's waiting. I think they're talking about using some of our used ones, but our program's been up and running for a few years now and works great.
So let me ask you this. So with the update with the Safety Act, is it that all municipalities have to have body cam by what, 25?
I believe so.
So we are basically we're ahead of the game.
Everybody's way ahead of the game now.
Okay. All right. Chief Kidwell? Oh, yeah.
Jump on, you just have a promotion in your department? Zarius.
Oh, Zarius, yeah, we did.
Is he the first African-American officer in the village of Mantino to be promoted?
To be promoted, yes, he is, correct. Yeah, big deal, you're right, thanks, Jeff.
Chief Kidwell?
Yeah, we're at 67, and that's where we're supposed to be, our manpower. As far as hiring, we have 9 people left on our current list, so if someone does retire or leaves prior to that list expiring, and our list is active right now.
Deputy Chief, anything? I know you and I have been talking.
No. No, I don't have anything. Been working closely with the Officer Violence Prevention to do some acts to try and prevent some of the violence that's going on in our community. So I've worked closely with them in the recent months, reaching out to victims of violent crime, because we understand that most of our crime or gunshot victims end up becoming perpetrators, or they were perpetrators in the beginning. So we've been working closely with our Office of Violence Prevention and Kankakee Forgives to reach out to victims of violent crime to try and prevent future crimes. So that's kind of what I've been doing within the police department and with the Office of Violence Prevention.
Mr. Hunter?
We could have, I've heard Mayor Curtis talk about what has transpired with the Police and Fire Commission in terms of hirings since he's been in office. I remember the number 23, and I think they're probably closer to 30 now. Could they speak to the aggressive activity they've been able to do in terms of hiring since Curtis has been in office, and also speaking to the diversity of those almost 30 officers?
Who do you want to talk?
Whomever, all you guys can play a role.
No, I believe in May of '21, and Chief Kidwell, you may know this number better. I think we were budgeted for 57 officers. We probably only had about 53 that were active on the street. Does that sound about right, with injuries and?
We had 51 active at the time.
Yeah. So 51 active. We're now budgeted for 67, and we're at full budget at hiring. So I believe it's about 28 or 29 we've hired in the last 33 months. We have, with the hiring, it's been good with the younger officers that have come in. Our diversity has greatly changed, not only with Hispanic, African American, but also with female. We're probably now across the board just a hair under 40% of, we're probably about 39% of Hispanic, female, and African American hire within the state of Kankakee, and that's probably up from about 15% back when we were at 51.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody have had the opportunity, I know Natalie and myself attended a workshop at the health department with John Beavis and some of his staff. So I know we got Gardner Prayer, we got our health chair, we got our state rep, and then we have Miss Claudia No here. So have anybody involved themselves with the state, with the health department regarding IRIS and how, let's say, our police departments, your department can help individuals in the community regarding the integrated referral intake system? You want to, State Representative, thank you.
We're involved actually from the Helen Wheeler
No.
Center standpoint. So our organization is one of the providers that are listed in that. So IRIS is an integrated referral system, as you mentioned, that anyone can make a referral to one of the service providers. That is the system that the county has, and Steve can probably talk a little bit about this too, has invested in to help our citizens be able to access services in an easier way. And providers can get into the IRIS system and make referrals to other providers in a much more efficient way. So if, say, Natalie's at her agency wants to make a referral to me at my agency, she can get that information from the consumer, get all of the information that we need at our organization. It's HIPAA compliant, so with us being a mental health organization, that information can come to us. There's certain information that we can't share back. There's about 3 or 4 organizations that are in that situation where we can't share certain information back, but we can accept that information. It's called IRIS because the system in the screen will show a flower bloom as the referral is accepted, and as it, that's how it shows how that referral has been accepted, and the client's getting the services that they were referred for. So it's up and running now. We've already received some referrals at the clinic through that system, and I have to say it's very quick and efficient, and so far I've been really happy with that. We get the information we need, why they're being referred. Yeah, it's good.
And-
So far,
and
so good.
It was, I guess it would be twofold. The reason I asked the question, because one of the topics of discussion last night was the governor's budget address last week with the $182 million of monies going toward migrants, and so my thought was, and the question last night was how some of those resources was going to end up in the 79th district, the city of Kankakee, and so we have the sheriff just came in. We got Chief Swinford, we got the Daily Journal, we got Chief Kidwell here. So I'm thinking all of us, along with our response team, should be somewhat acquainted with IRIS, where they can refer individuals. And our coroner just mentioned regarding some of the issues that we're having with drugs. So I'm thinking this whole thing should be tied together on how can we refer individuals to ensure that they are getting the necessary resources that are there.
Sure, so the health department is the lead agency with
Right.
IRIS. So I think perhaps we need to bring them into the conversation and have them do a training and maybe integrate the players that are in. We're kind of at a soft start now, so we probably need to have that conversation with them on what agencies then will be brought into from here. And I think Steve wants to add to that.
Yeah, I think, if I remember correctly, Beavis indicated there was a soft start the first week in February with 18 agencies involved. And I think maybe last month we had the IRIS coordinator, a young lady, I can't remember her name, but she gave a very comprehensive overview of the IRIS program and the specificity surrounding that. Additionally, there's not been really a mandate at this point, but I know Chairman Wheeler had indicated that those agencies who would receive ARPA funds would be requested to participate in the IRIS program.
Okay, so with that, then Representative Haas, with the 82 million, how we, again, that question with our response team and the issues that people are going to have. So Natalie, do we have any idea? I'm giving the sheriff an opportunity to finish lunch before you give an update here.
Eat fast, Mike.
So we just want to give our conversation we had the other day with Senator Sims, and where we are with the Safety Act these days.
I want to hear this one.
Does the phrase nowhere mean anything?
Yeah.
It's frustrating because, and I just got off the phone, I was on the phone actually, the reason I'm late, I was on the phone with the Sheriff's Association director telling him that every session, regardless of when it is, they should be working with law enforcement and social service agencies to talk about what works and what doesn't. And, you know, there should be things like, you know, you have these non-detainable offenses. Well, maybe you should rethink some of these non-detainable offenses because, and Jim Rowe talked about this at the Farm Bureau meeting the other day, about soliciting sex with a minor is a non-detainable offense. Now, is that really, as a community, what we want? Shouldn't these people be in jail? Failing to register as a sex offender. We got on this big thing, the state police have this sex offender registration. Failing to register as a sex offender is a non-detainable offense. These things need to be going back to the General Assembly saying, hey, listen, the Safety Act passed, it is what it is, but let's start addressing some of these issues. I mean, there's some confusion regarding the Safety Act and the Pretrial Fairness Act, which is the elimination of cash bail. The Pretrial Fairness Act started in January of 2022 or 2023, whatever it was, or that summer of 2022. The Pretrial Fairness Act, the cashless bail, started in September of 2023. So now we've gone virtually 6 months seeing what this has done. Now it's every time the General Assembly meets, they should be reforming, as they talked about, the Safety Act. Because we said before, police reform was ongoing. Police reform is ongoing every year. Pre-Safety Act, we were reforming law enforcement. So that's the frustration level on law enforcement side of this Safety Act, such that it is. We all know that cash bail is never coming back. It's not going to come back. But we need to make some adjustments based on what we've learned as we've progressed through this first 6 months of the cashless bail and some of the Safety Act. And as we talked about, the law enforcement training is a good thing. Body cameras are a great thing. To be able to decertify police officers who shouldn't be police officers is a good thing. But there's still things that need to be changed that apparently Senator Sims has no intention of doing, quite frankly.
So, well, again, you wasn't here, but on the 24th of April, and, we've had Peoria, but we're going to have the Danville branch is coming in. And again, it revolves around our conversation, where some of the things that we do here is being emulated by other branches who sees what's going on in Kankakee regarding the relationship between the NAACP, law enforcement response team, IRS, sheriff, and Mr. Rowe actually spoke to the NAACP leadership on Saturday, February 3rd, approximately over 200-some individuals, and he talked about the relationship, Mayor, that we have here in Kankakee County, whether it's the NAACP, it's the state's attorney, it's the relationship with the sheriff or the coroner, our state rep, state senator. And so with that, how can we convey that concern or that questions to Mr. Sims, even though I know he might not have your cell number?
He does.
I figured I knew that. So I mean, can we maybe convey something in writing to him, maybe sparking that interest on those, and when they're in sessions, to maybe revamp, look at what do we need to improve if cash bail is not coming back, and just the example that you gave regarding individual and a minor, not being detained. Can you also convey our conversation of what you're looking at regarding those individuals who are detained now, and what would have happened a year and a half ago? You might want to convey that.
Sure.
With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, let me say this to you. I know that, and this is something that I bring forward to Sheriff Downey on multiple occasions in different venues. He has extended himself time after time about interfacing with the Senator Sims about the Safety Act. And you may recall a while back, I was contacted by Senator Sims regarding the Safety Act, and I won't give any more specificities, but there was some concern he had about Mr. Rowe's activities regarding the Safety Act. So you can imagine what those concerns were. But, just to be, I'm being redundant when I say, I know that Sheriff Downey has reached out time after time after time to interface with Senator Sams on that very subject matter.
So Sheriff, you want to, the update, what you saying, the survey that you're looking at across the board?
What do you mean?
You indicated that you were looking at a survey of detainable offenses.
Oh, yeah, so,
Across
so
racial
we
lines
basically,
and-
so we tracked from September 18th, and I'm about through January right now, and we're going by everybody who's in our custody. And on our custody list is everybody's arrests, whether it's cities, Bradleys, Bourbonnais. And basically seeing,
East, west.
who's been released. Oh, you're talking about the numbers of,
Yeah, east, west, but go ahead.
well, which one are we talking about?
Let's talk about both.
Okay. So we're trying to figure out from a detention standpoint, who's been detained and why, and who hasn't been detained and why. And there's not been very many detained over the course of the past 6 months. Those that are detained are obviously detained for serious offenses, but there are a number of them who are not detained for what I think everybody in this room would consider a dangerous offense, because the judges have certain guidelines they have to go by based on the legislation. And there's criticism out there of people saying the judges have the ability to detain somebody, and it's just flat out not true.
Not true.
And Jim reiterated that at the Farm Bureau meeting as well. They don't. They can't. And and to show you why, the appellate courts in the state of Illinois have been overwhelmed with cases from those who are detained when judges do try to detain somebody, and the appellate court is releasing these individuals because they're saying that's not detainable based on the legislation. So some judges are trying. I've said long ago, I said judges need to broaden their definition of what exactly a danger to the community is, but they can't. I mean, their hands are tied, and we said this in the beginning. When you have somebody who doesn't go to jail like the victim wanted, don't blame the state's attorney, don't blame the police, and don't blame the judges. So we're trying to track that as best we can, based on who's in custody. And we'll continue to do that and provide examples, continue to provide examples. I think what our jail population shows, that there's really been no change in the population, is that what we were doing prior to the Pretrial Fairness Act, or the end of cashless bail, or the end of no cash bail, was that with the sheriff's office working with Jim Rowe's office in determining who's in jail and who's not, and if a particular individual had offenses that were not very serious, or he was in here for a longer period of time that he would have spent in prison, those people were getting out. And I think the fact that our numbers really haven't changed shows that we were holding individuals who should have been held, and we were getting people released who should have been released. So.
Any questions of the sheriff? So Mayor, Sheriff Kidwell and Swinford, so where are we updated with training of our respective officers? And okay, so,
All we do is training.
I'm sorry.
Our officers are in training every day, doing something. There's so many mandates and requirements, which is good, but it is a little bit of a burden on departments. Can be expensive. They're doing a lot more online training, but yes, we spend a lot of time doing training.
I just want to, there was a commitment that that the NAACP pretty much had with former Chief Passwater. And we want to hold to that commitment with Chief Kidwell and Swinford. I just asked the undersheriff about Mo Mintz, and that was that political action individuals, Criminal Justice Committee was going to come to each one of the shift, 6 to 2, 2 to 10, to introduce ourselves and acquaint that, continue to build that relationship between the NAACP and the respective officers. So we have our meeting next month, and so what we're going to do, we'll start with the city, move to Mantino, and then I can get with Chief Barber or Lieutenant Mason, who's the deputy chief, Provost, and then so we'll try to go Kankakee, Mantino, Bradley, and pick those times that we can meet the respective shifts at roll call to introduce ourselves. So I think that's something that we definitely need to do, particularly with all the new officers that we have, chief, deputy chief. So those individuals need to know maybe county board member Hunter by face, and as because with all the number of I would say new individuals that we have who don't live here. So I think they at least need to know individuals either whether by face or name or whatever. So any suggestions on that when we think we would start that after our meeting, which would be the second Thursday of March? In the mic, Chief.
Let me get with Commander Maladine, and I'll get you a definite date. So you're just going to come during the shift briefing, was
Yes,
that your
sir.
plan? So, I mean, obviously, our shifts start at 5:45, 1:45, and 9:45.
First Vice President Hunter got the first shift. He got the 5:45. I have the 10 o'clock.
Okay. So you'll be there at 9:45 p.m.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know that. And Ms. No has the 2. 2 will be 1:45.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably really going to be whenever you guys want to do it, because
Yeah, I know.
you know
Yeah.
we work 24/7, so 365. So whenever you want to show up, we'll accommodate you.
But I mean, I like I said, we had that conversation, and so we're getting to the where we can actually, I think we can go ahead and implement
Sure.
that, and at least we have an idea of what's going on. Sheriff, anything else, Sheriff?
Yeah, actually, I have a couple things. A couple weeks ago, there's an Eastern Illinois law enforcement group that meets every third Wednesday.
Third
In fact,
Wednesday.
The undersheriff is the president of that association right now. And one of the employees of the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board has actually joined that group, which is actually good to have because they monitor the training of law enforcement statewide. I mean, because as Chief Swinford said, there's mandates that we have to meet. She stopped by here a week or so, maybe 2 weeks ago, and unannounced, which is fine. Anybody can stop by unannounced. And actually said that Kankakee County is way above the norm when it comes to having all their mandated training completed. So credit to everybody, your training people. So that's a good thing. And I don't know if we've talked about body-worn cameras in our jail, but we have body-worn cameras in our jail, and they are working as effectively as they do on the street. They've been a great addition to our staff. Our staff loves them, won't go to work without them. So, we're glad because that eliminates, we still have a few issues, but it eliminates a lot of problems when it comes to he said, she said. So
What about storage, Chief? Sheriff Johnny?
we're storing. You'll see our invoice shortly, Mr. Hunter.
So with that, Chief Kidwell Swinford, so how you guys going with storage from the body cams and?
We're doing fine. When we signed the contract, I can't remember how many years we got, 5 years on that first contract, so we'll deal with it in a couple of years. But I mean, as we buy more body cameras, we're resetting that time all the time, so. But, I mean, yeah, it's something we have to have, right? If there's really no wiggle room, we have to do it, so. I mean, like the sheriff said, through a Let's Be, if our officers aren't doing the education, then they will decertify them. I think Hillary probably told you guys the same thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's for our region, and they're cracking down. I mean, I'm sure there's some counties that aren't, within policy, but are doing the training like we are. But I mean, you can get decertified, and I think they're prepared to do it. So, it's incumbent upon us to keep it up.
So you've been able to utilize all your new squads?
Yes, I got 2 new ones yesterday, so they're still in the works.
Okay. So, Chief Swinsby, you good with storage also?
Yeah, we're good. We're on a contract with GTEC. The state's supposed to start reimbursing for that. I don't know if there's a mechanism for it yet, but I don't think we've seen a check for that, but hopefully that'll alleviate some of that expense.
Bring the checkbook, Dave?
One more thing.
Yeah, Sheriff.
One more thing. I know that other departments are hiring as well and testing. We tested a while back to create a hiring list. We had 19 people apply, of which 2 did not pass. So we had 17, I believe. Of those 17, they were 13 were white, 4 were Hispanic, and there was no African Americans that applied.
Wow. Okay.
Stevie Hunter wanted me to speak on Shot Spotter. Yeah, we have no plans on.
You're not going to cut that contract?
No, I know Chicago did, and but I mean, I think with our cameras, we've got probably 130, 40 cameras throughout the city now.
How many?
130 to 140. With that and our Shot Spotter and the technology with Flock, we definitely want to go another year. Plus, we have the NIBIN, all the ballistics that we do recover, we send them off to the ATF for tracing. So, I mean, we're just starting to see the benefits of it now that we have all this technology. So obviously, we want to stay in for at least another year to make sure that we're seeing things the way that we think we are.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have no plans on getting rid of it unless the mayor tells me otherwise. So.
Okay. Well, with that, Mayor, you got any comments?
I think Chief Bidwell and DC Austin, they've hit it right on the head. We're even, with all this technology, I'll let them talk. There's now even a more need for personnel with this technology. So they've had one individual that's kind of been doing a lot of that for them, and we're going to allocate another person in that, I'll call it technology department area, just because more than ever, you got everything with the body cameras and our cameras and everything else. There's a lot of need for it. So we'll have to allocate funding for that, but we will.
Like Chief?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, we're really getting overwhelmed. I think last year we had over 1,600 FOIA requests just, coming in with all this video. We get FOIA requests every day, so obviously we need more personnel. Plus, with the phone dumps, I know the sheriff's been asking me to get somebody out here, so we're in the process of doing that now. We just hired another records clerk, so we're going to take one of our records clerks and put them in the investigations division as a crime analysis type guy. So he'll be running our lab and doing some of the work a police officer used to do just to free up our cops and allow them to, it takes a lot of training for one thing to get all this done. I mean, to send them to, these cell phone schools to get the dumps, and then to do the other technology, have the ability to when you guys want FOIA request or to send off this, the ability to send the video and stuff to those requests in the FOIA. So that's kind of where we're at. We hired an extra records clerk. We're going to move one of them out to help us with the technology. So-
Well, Chief Swinford and Kidwell, we got the mayor, we have Mr. Breach here, we have the sheriff. Actually, this week was the NAACP legislative campaign week. However, Jackie and our state senator, they're not in session, so you guys have my email, so if you guys can email and give you a wish list, so when we go to Springfield, probably gonna be in May, when our state rep and state senator are gonna let us know that they're gonna be there, we can start requesting some of these items that you guys might want.
I think a lot of it's what
We're
Al
there
said.
now, yeah. We're just not there this week, but we're there now.
I think
Yeah.
it's money, you know, for like these cameras and stuff. I mean, we did apply for the grant. I think we're supposed to get, I think around $70,000. So, I mean, that's gonna help us, but,
Yeah.
you know, if they, you know, the state really needs to keep that up in order for us to stay on top of everything.
Yeah, this was just a nationwide campaign with the NAACP converging on our respective state capitals this week. So that's even coming up to, I think, the 3rd or 4th of March. But it was actually, we would have been there today or tomorrow in Springfield. So that's where we are. So everybody, can you check, Undersheriff indicated that the 24th of April is open here. And I want you to check your calendars because, again, the Danville branch of the NAACP will be coming here to visit. And as our Undersheriff and I talked, and Sheriff, I need to get with you, Harper College, just last Thursday, Chief Swinford and Kidwell just signed on with the 10-year principals last Thursday. And so even like Decatur, Danville, they don't have that relationship, so they have not signed. So they want to come here, see the type of relationship we have, and hopefully I can get with Sheriff Downing to maybe we can have a dialogue with the sheriff. What's the county in Decatur? What is that? Macon. No, Decatur's Macon, but I mean Danville. Vermillion. And maybe we can have the conversation with the, we can even use Mayor Curtis with the mayor in Danville and the sheriff that's in, what's the county again? Vermillion. And we can do that. What's that?
Hart Short?
Oh, so you know him?
I do.
Oh, so maybe I can help with President Butler, that we can maybe convene a conversation via Zoom and we can build that relationship. But they have not signed on with the 10-year principles there. You know, and like I indicated, for those who are in the room, that was actually in our meeting, the statewide meeting on the 3rd of this month. State's Attorney Rowe did a very good job in selling the point of relationships. Why wouldn't the state rep, the state senator, and the president of a branch don't have that relationship to dialogue, even with the county coroner? So we're a little unique here, so even though we don't always agree, but at least we have that dialogue. So any comments? Mr. Breach? Myron? Reggie? No? And so it's this 12,
Just
Mr. Hunter.
one comment, President, again. To hear Mayor Curtis and hear Chief Kidwell, Swinford, and all these guys talk about additional tools, the shot spotter technology, I appreciate you guys keeping that. When you think in terms of Chicago doing away with it, also you see what they did up in Chicago regarding removing the resource officers from the schools, which is stupid, you ask me, in light of all the different shootings and stuff in and around the schools. We still got them here, and it seems like they need to take a look at what we're doing here to enhance the quality of life, for our neighbors to the north. And I'm just saying, I appreciate the commitment that these guys have here regarding shot spotter and the resource officer's position. So that's good stuff. And it works, it seems like.
So seeing none, so can we get a motion at 12:58 for adjournment? Moved by Mr. Gessner, second by Deputy Chief. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I will see you on the 24th of April at noon.
So what else is up? I'm supposed to go to the therapy at 1 o'clock. I'm tired. I'm taking on some bills. I'm sitting on that. I'm still trying to figure who this is. It looks like me, but the shoes.